We all dream about having some kind of superpower, maybe by eating the devil fruit, or finger training in the time room. Or maybe an old lady stole a gold marble. You didn't hear me wrong. That's how the Otaru. To have his own superpower, you had to sacrifice your own golden ball. To be able to say something like this, become like this. As a result, the Okaru now has insane speed and capability. It makes you one of the most powerful characters in series Dandadan, and it's all thanks to a yokai called Tsubobaba. But how does this work? Let's find out together. It all started when Okarun, a lonely boy, meets Ayase Momo, a famous girl, to convince each other that aliens and demons, it really exists. They bet together that you're going alone to a known location. To prove it, Momo went to an abandoned hospital and met with aliens called Sobos, while our little boy Okaru finds the pie. Bobby, a legend, and encounter that one. One day we will save the world. Turbo Baba is a yokai famous for her name, 100 kilometers per hour, who once roamed the streets of Japan to cause terror for everyone. She appeared in Vietnam. The people should be called crying, but surprisingly, is that she also comforts restless souls of girls who have met tragic deaths. It's called Turbo Daddy. She was inspired by a true Japanese folklore about a yokai called Tobo Baba. This is a legend about an old woman going super fast on the highway. At night, she suddenly appeared behind the drivers. Follow them by flashing the lights and honking the horn. In some versions of the story, if she catches up with you, she get you in an accident or knock you off the road. No one knows exactly where the story begins, but people believe that it's a warning not to drive recklessly. And even though it's just a story, Toboba has become popular in Japan. In fact, you probably know her from the Mob Psycho series. But in Dandadan, this old woman's story goes much further, because she met the spirits in a tunnel, leading to the union between many evil spirits, creating an even more terrifying entity. So any AI that enters this tunnel is turbocharged. Ba-ba cursed. Okaru was shocked to meet Turbo Baba. She gave you a promise that you would. This is not suitable for YouTube. You can watch the first episode of the anime to find out more. Of course, Oharu had to flee to save his life. But that's the wrong choice. It was this decision by Okaru that challenged Turbo Aber, and she's obviously not going to give up on the race. Capable of cursing, this yokai finally got a piece of the Okaru. Her curse will be activated if she catches her victim, who tried to run away from her out of fear. By winning the race, Toboba can occupy their dangerous place and rip your golden marbles me home. But that's just the beginning of their problems. When you own your body, Turbo Aba translated, instantly transferred to Momo's location through their phones. When Momo called for help, Turbo Daddy has completely lost control and started attacking the sheriffs. They're arresting Momo. However, this action is counterproductive, because then, Turbo Daddy was forced out of the body by Momo when she accidentally woke up. Spiritual power inherited from BA people due to the Sherlock's overstimulating brain waves. So Turbo Daddy woke Momo up, unleashed the curse of the Otaru by going back into the tunnel. So Turbo Daddy challenged Momo, unleashed the curse of the Otaru by going back into the tunnel. 2 days later, Turbo Aba knew that Momo is going through a training to confront the yokai. So she asked Momo to go to the tunnel that night. He threatened to kill everyone who saw the treasure, including your grandmother. There's no other choice. Momo listening according to Turbo requirements. Daddy and go with the Otaru and the tunnel. However, she set a two-headed trap and prepared to attack. Right now, of course, Momo challenged her to play a game of catch. Top BABA then agrees to count down 10 minutes for Momo and Otaru to escape. Even so, she quickly realized that Momo was trying to trick her. So she activated the reversed O card and decided to play Momo again, that they didn't prescribe a countdown. Even so, he rushed in to save her by a hard blow into the yokai's body, made her scream in pain. Turbo Daddy can't even kick you out. Okaru is attached to Daddy's body due to the special clothes he received from Momo's grandmother, so that when the power of the body is weakened, Toboba had no other choice. In addition to returning to soul form, take control of your body, Okaru to devour Momo. But this is when she uses her spiritual powers to trap the yokai inside the Okaru. And so when they both tried to escape from Sono City, Tobio Baba asked for help from the local psychic and other souls from a giant graveyard to block their escape. However, using the speed of Turbo Baba, Okaru has awakened his symbolic power and tried to dash through the crowd. But he was also quickly exhausted. Momo temporarily loses control of Turbo Baba, Success in uniting with the soul of the giant crab too. Revenge though. The Boaba was still shocked to see Momo use your spiritual power to attach to a moving ship, to deliberately lead her to the city of Kamakoshi, where her grandmother set a boundary to be able to purify any which Yakai is trapped inside. And so in a last-ditch effort, Tobirama has returned to spirit form and secretly transports himself into the body of the Otaru before being completely exorcised. However, when he realized that his brother was back, but the golden marbles still don't know how to run, you went straight to Momo's and her grandmother's to find out about. There's still a soul living in your body. While Turbo Aba is still exhausted and weak, Momo and her grandmother finally pushed her out of her body and turn her into a magic cat or monkey Neko. This helps Turbo Baba wake up to a new possibility. Infinite luck, because the magic cat is supposed to give luck to others. That's why. It's because of Sao that Turbo Baba inherited this power from it. But even in this cat form, she's still trying to escape and get caught by Momo. Even Okaru has transformed and revealed that all of her abilities were compromised, stuck in your body. Originally, you can only transform under the influence of Leiyuan, powered by Momo's psychic abilities, to stop Baba's control. However, with the power of the Yakai permanently transferred into the body, Okaru soon gained the ability to transform at will. However, this has a drawback. They're all transformers with the power of Yakai. They're all subject to a complete change in personality. In the case of Odaru, you become a very frustrated person with everything. However, the power that the Otaru has in this form will be important throughout the story, because from then on, you and Momo will encounter more Yakai, and even a whole one. The invasion of aliens, where Otaru is the hero. It's changed the course of the Earth's history. But first, you need to practice to get a good one. Move for yourself. This transformation gives you speed and reflexes. It's amazing. It allows you to run at incredible speed. That's 100 kilometers per hour. So to match this power, Karen used an attack with the step Da is squatting down and hit his head with the power of his transformed legs. You can launch yourself at the speed of a bullet. This allows you to overcome obstacles and cause significant damage. But to make sure, you can do this move very well. During lunch break at school, Okaru has been practicing continuously. And from there, there's a frenetic pace. It allows you to make unreasonable moves. It's like moving through the sky with your feet. It's like a helicopter coming to dodge an attack, with a time of a few seconds. But saw when you rescued Error out of danger and confront formidable enemies, like the Evil Eye. This is crazy, because the Evil Eye is one of the Yakai, strongest of all time. He was so strong that even Tobu Baba thought, when fighting together, will be extremely tired. Worse when the Evil Eye then merges with Jichi. They've always put their lives in danger. Permanent. However, the treasure, I was able to impress him enough to be his friend. In fact, the Evil Eye was impressed with the abilities of the Otaru, so much so that he agreed never to harm anyone again. If that means it can fight the Otaru every Tuesday, with all my strength. However, the game-changing factor, allow the Otaru to defeat the Evil Eye, give you a completely interesting fight. It's thanks to Boba Ba's own training. In Chapter 57, Okaru was taken to school, where you were forced. You've got to learn to find your own fighting rhythm. Tobu Baba explained that the time you jump and land, the Evil Eye, it's going to do for separate actions in one beat. So to compete with Hunter, Okaru need to perform 5 or more actions. And you did that at the end of training. Okaru can only use this transformation ability to buy one day. So by doing more actions per beat, you can use your power. I was better in those 2 changes. You'll also be temporarily immobilized by pressure on your body, because humans weren't born to move that fast. However, an important point to note is that Tobobata, that her abilities could go beyond this, and 5 actions in one beat. It was really easy for her. Okaru had actually destroyed an entire house in the process. Fight with the Evil Eye, with a blow to the head. It's actually very persuasive. When considering that, you can instantly accelerate up to 100 kilometers an hour. That's 28 meters in 0.1 seconds. And you weigh about 60 kilos. And if each blow, the attack is carried out with the entire body weight, that means you're going to create. The force is equivalent to 16,660 newtons. In the shonen category, that sounds like a normal thing. But think, you will come out if you have the power and speeds like this in real life. Imagine if every time that Otaru attacked, that attack is about as powerful as to rhinos, is rushing, or even to big elephants charging at the opponent, with maximum power. Now with his speed and ability to fight, this transformation enhances both the durability of the Otaru, allowing you to resist strong attacks, and maintain resilience in combat. Your mouth after transformation, it gives you a very strong bite. As proven, when you bit off the Flatwoods monster's finger, where every giant finger is huge, equivalent to an adult, His bite force is probably over 4,000 psi, similar to the bite force of a great white shark. Above all, Okaru also inherited the unique ability of Turbo Aba. That's 100 kilometers per hour by any means, including telephone cables. To use this power, you have to move along the helical magnetic field, snail around the phone wire, driven by the extremely high speed of the BA Turbo. From there, you can teleport to a specific location if you want to go through an active phone line made by that AI at your desired destination. This ability not only facilitates for fast moving, but also increase the speed of the Otaru. When you bounce off the phone line, it looks like you're moving at lightning speed through the areas, but moving through the telephone lines, it seems simple. That's a challenge. For example, Otaru struggling to reach the intended destination when there are multiple telephone lines connected, and you can't be on a phone line for a long time because there's magnetic fields coming out. Even if the opponent cut off the phone line you're using, the ability of the Otaru to move will be interrupted, force you to jump off the line immediately. However, by taking advantage of the speed of BABA increased, after ejection out of the phone line, the attacks of the Otaru become almost instantaneous. In battle with the aliens, you've quickly neutralized many opponents before they can react, using its enhanced speed to make powerful VA touches. Even so, the speed of the Turbo BABA is 100 kilometers per hour. Let you go into the cables. There, your speed changes dramatically. It's like you're riding a radio to get around. To better understand the speed of electrical signals in the road, ordinary telephone wires, by about 50 up to 70% of the speed of light in feet. That's about 150 to 210,000 kilometers per second. But if the Otaru gets inside the fiber optic cable, you'll be able to move at about 210 up to 24,000 kilometers per second. So as soon as you eject from the cable, you're going to carry the momentum of that speed, allowing you to inflict an extremely unreasonable amount of damage. Power of VA touch could be equivalent to 413 billion kilograms of TNT, when the weight of the Otaru is about 60 kilograms. This is a crazy amount of energy. However, it is very likely that the energy will be dissipated as soon as the Otaru. It's because you're moving in a specific direction, the energy will be directed, so when you stop, you're going at this speed with all your might. They can destroy strong opponents. As an alien, wearing a spacesuit with just one devastating VA touch, prevent the risk of harm to Momo. Out of the Otaru has proven the ability to separate yourself from your physical body, and now it seems a form of matter that's like a soul. In this form, you have the ability to fly and become invisible. For those who have no spiritual awareness, however, this possibility is accidental, and the use its purpose has not been discovered so far. Then being in mental form for too long will weaken your connection to your physical body. So when it comes apart, absolutely, prevent the Otaru from returning to his body later. Even so, Okaru has not yet unleashed the power of Turbo Aba. In chapter 162, you've broken your limits and transformed for the third time. However, that made him almost completely immobile after the battle. The month is sad. We may not even be able to see that. How far can you go with this power? Because in chapter 165, when Otaru finally got his two golden balls, Taboba also left with the power she gave him. Turboba, I have fulfilled my contract by helping you find golden marbles, and she's been given back her life with her old power. When doing so, her thirst for blood is revealed in an intense way that even the evil I must ask for help. However, even though she originally wanted to kill Momo and Okaru, after regaining his power, but now she changed her mind and started my own adventure. Let them stay. And the reason is that maybe the true nature of Turbo Baba, it's not the devil, it's just a pervert old lady. Maybe her goal is to help others, especially young girls like Momo. Turbo Baba is now also defeated by another old lady. But hotter, it's AI. I think you know it's AI. But you see, Don's author, Dandadan, has introduced Tons, a short story of the two of them. In every episode of the comic, you both spend most of your free time together, shopping for food every day or having fun. Don't forget that when you get caught, trapped inside the lucky cat, Bobby, he used his power to help the group many times. For the first time she used this power, that's when Momo escaped from the Yakai. Acrobatic Suki. What ate her? Thanks to Turbo Daddy. She was tied up with her hair, then burned. A nut guy of air turned out to be a liar. Another example is in a hot spring, when Momo, attacked by members of the perverted family. Fortunately, she got rid of these perverts as the walls come down around them and save her. Even though there's no curse of Turbo Aber, Oharu also awakened the power. It's like heaven keeping you in the mini version. Mine, so this is because of everything during the time that you use the power of BABA. It's that power. has upgraded your basic human body. Back to school. Previously, it took 9 seconds for a 50 meters sprint, but now you can run in 5.8 seconds. And you can throw the ball 35 meters. High jump up to 3.6 meters from a stationary state without gaining momentum, and complete 80 consecutive horizontal steps. Oh, Karen, I'm really on the way to pushing my limits. It's like Saitama, so that all the students and teachers, they compare you to a professional athlete. And no matter what, Turbo be a win get full power. They also set their own goals. Or find out the high sensorman or hyper geyser. Or go back to the haunting days in the tunnel. But whether Otaru, do you really let your power wither like this? Because if it wasn't for you, the AI would hold back the evil eye. Let's wait! And we're going to continue to do the analysis for you in the future.